Yeah, so I'm gonna make this video with the preface that I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I just kind of have been doing YouTube for a while, and I get a lot of questions all the time from like musicians and even friends that are, pretty high up there as a musician, whether they're a beatboxer, a guitar player, or a DJ. And they're just like, how do you do YouTube? Like what is it? And I think there's a lot of people that sit there and they give this weird, like, formulaic approach to being a successful content creator that I've always found like pretty big issue with, because I think there's no proper way to do anything. Whether you have a dude with blonde hair that like dyes it, that like tells you that there's three ways to approach it. You gotta like have good quality, good content, and you just gotta put as much out as you possibly can. It's like there's so many different strategies that I think it's weird when someone tells you that this is the perfect way to do it. So I'm gonna preface this by saying I don't know the perfect way. I'm just gonna give you some advice for those people that have asked me, whether you're a friend or a viewer or just someone that might have stumbled on this video. And my first piece of advice would be, don't think that it's just going to happen. Um, for me, content creation was a complete accident, and I just happened to be putting myself into a position where I would have completely understood how to do YouTube because of what I was doing. I was editing for people. I was doing audio engineering and production engineering, so like events and festivals, and like miking up a room that had 500 people in it to capture like the audio of the voices while also capturing like the stage sound while capture like I was doing a whole bunch of different things that allowed me that the ability to be successful as what I would have ever done with YouTube, which is be a musician YouTuber, right? And I kind of accidentally made my first video that blew up, which is the Uber video, because someone passed out in my car, and it was just like I had to like get a camera after that because it could have been bad, and I just kind of went from there, right? You don't need to like force yourself to like instantly start being a content creator. I think it's dangerous to do that. I think the best way to do it is to find your interest, get good at it, practice it, live in the world with it, and show yourself that you can do it, and then go and take that skill into content creation eventually, right? That's kind of my recommendation to anybody that wants to do something. If you're a woodworker, right, and you want to be a woodworker on Twitch, you probably should start off woodworking first. You should go to community events. You should learn. You should go to school for it a little bit, and then start doing it on Twitch. 'Cause it's going to give you that upper hand. You're going to be someone that has world experience in something, and that's going to leave you separated from people that might just be like, I'm just doing this on Twitch. I have fun. Like, treat yourself like it matters to you more than just trying to be famous off of it. And I think that's a very important and not really talked about thing when it comes to like the creative like expressionism that is being an entertainer on these websites, and learning about him. So that's one of my major pieces of advice to a lot of people. But then another thing is like, you have to make digestible content. Something I see a lot of people do, especially with musicians. I don't know if this really leads into other places, but it's the idea of purism. I used to see it a lot in beatboxing because I used to be a battle beatboxer, and you'd see people that like would make fun of people that make omegals, or you'd have people that'd be like, "That guy's an internet beatboxer," and it's this weird mentality where people think that like being a beatboxer or doing something that isn't like the stipulated way that everyone has always done it is going to be weird. But hey, the first person that does weird stuff typically gets like a relative amount of success off it because you're original. People want to see original things, and that usually comes off adapting something that you love doing to a different like way of presenting it than anyone else can think of, right? I did a video where I beatboxed for dicks, okay, on Omegle. That was kind of a weird video, but you know what? It got way more views than I would have ever guessed in a short amount of time. It was like one of my first Omegle videos, and it did super well. Okay, I'm not intentionally telling you to do that, but that's just an example of something that, like, for me, that was my sense of humor, and it was like my way of creating my voice and, allowing people to see like what I think is funny through my content. And that's another thing that's really important is like you got to find your voice, man. When I was on Mixer for the short amount of time I considered it to literally just be like Midwest Twitch. You just have people on there that would just completely copy other streamers that were popular, and they would almost just be like really Walmart versions of these people. There was a dude on there that was like the biggest Fortnite streamer, and he literally just had the same headband like Ninja War, and he like was that same like "What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream," like this weird mentality that you have to like fake it till you make it. It's like, nah, man, listen, you can be yourself and be a content creator. That's what was so beautiful about content creation is you look at all these big Twitch streamers like Tyler One or Soda Poppin or these random dudes that are really big. It's like they were freaking toxic and they were negative and they had their ups and downs and they were people just like anybody else in the world before they got really big, right? And they streamed them getting to that point. And you got to realize like being yourself is going to be more important and more like mentally healthy than anything else when it comes to being someone that streams 8 hours a day or edits 20 hours every single week to make a video. You got to take care of that. So, with that being said, I think learning that you're a creative is a super important thing. One of my favorite books is by David Ogilvy, and he was a really successful marketing agency owner in the 70s and the 80s and the 60s. And I think Ogilvy is still around, but he doesn't own it anymore. And one of the greatest things I ever read in his book was him talking about how he would allow his creatives to be creative. And what that means is like if one of them needed space to go on a bender for 4 days and, go travel or like live their life and like jump into, meeting strangers or doing something interesting, uh, that would help them to create better stuff. And I think a lot of people want to treat entertaining on YouTube or this or that as a grind. They want it to be this thing that you put as much hard work into as you possibly can, and it returns to you as much as it can. Um, but that's not like I don't think YouTube's a transactional thing, nor do I think Twitch is. I think there's people who stream on Twitch once a month and they have better content and viewership than people that stream every single day. Um, and you got to realize that it really is about living your life and trying to maintain like healthiness while also like focusing on coming back to it with a positive like you want to have fun and you want to show people you having fun, and that's like a very important thing with content. And I think those things have really helped me to find myself and find my voice as a content creator, and I'm happy that it took a while, but I've never heard anyone really say stuff like that to me. Most people that I find give advice on content creation just kind of like because I don't usually think that they actually live the life that they're trying to like to describe. They think that like it's just grinding. You just got to get there and this and that. But in reality, it's like you got to actually enjoy what you do. You got to put time into it outside of when you're doing it, and you got to like focus extremely hard on making whatever you're doing work in other aspects and be able to be watched and are like loved by other people. So that would have never liked your stuff. So that's pretty much my advice. I don't know if that was as offensive as I thought it would be. I thought I was gonna come off like a dick. Maybe I did. Um, but yeah. So to all of those people that always ask me that question, uh, I hope that answers it. If you guys have any other questions you want me to talk about, I will. I mean, I do have cat ears, so I'm a pretty much a certified YouTube streamer now, and I'm not like the other boys. So thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a good day. I'm not going to stream today. I start streaming next week. I'm going to try to stream every Wednesday, Saturday, probably eventually, because I have to go to Minnesota to hang out with my girlfriend. But thank you guys. I'll see you later.